From his disastrous knee injury to getting snubbed out of the All-Star Game nod, Steven Adams' career may be on the decline. But was this knee injury the last nail in the coffin? And is Steven Adams' NBA career over? Well, let's take a look. As you know, the Memphis Grizzlies star player has just suffered a painful knee injury back in January 2023. After losing a game against the Phoenix Suns, Adams ended up spraining his ankle badly, and the rest is history. The basketball player later released a statement explaining it was a hyperextended knee or PCL injury, and he'd be out for 3 to 5 weeks. Well, those 3 to 5 weeks have officially turned into 2 months this March, with Adams sidelined for all of the games in between. The official recovery schedule released has been tossed out the window, and Steven Adams' return to the basketball court is unclear. The towering athlete has now sat out 18 consecutive games, a blow the Grizzlies are already going to feel. The last game Adams was sidelined from turned into a complete mess, with the Grizzlies facing defeat at the hands of the Los Angeles Lakers. Adams had so far been a durable and dependable guy, so this prolonged PCL strain comes as a shock to the team, especially since it doesn't appear to be healing the way it's supposed to. In a statement early in March, the Grizzlies coach revealed that Adams is undergoing stem cell therapy and constant observation. According to Coach Jenkins, Steven Adams has had to receive stem cell injections and is only able to do light practice for the time being. And no doubt, this has got fans worried sick, as they're now concerned for the Grizzlies themselves. But perhaps what's more concerning than the injury itself is Adams' time off the basketball court. The fact that Steven Adams remains benched could have adverse effects on his sportsmanship. It's a well-known fact that players only stay in shape with constant drills and game plays. Body fatigue, lowered stamina, and muscular atrophy are all very real issues that can affect Adams' performance while he's out. But if Adams can only get some non-contact drills in, as Coach Taylor Jenkins has mentioned, then how is he gonna get back in form? He still has not been able to do 5-on-5 work, which he would be able to were he fit enough to play competitively again. Jenkins, however, is still confident that the star is trending in the right direction, as he said in an interview in mid-March. But are all these statements the sweet honey before the bitter medicine of Adams not returning is doled out? Fans are worried that even if the basketballer makes a full recovery, he still may not be able to rejoin this season. The Grizzlies are gonna have to pull their socks up and prepare to brave through the 2023 season without their starting center. It's a shame that they're already being tested on their multi-million-dollar investment. I mean, if you recall, the Grizzlies had definitely taken a gamble on Steven Adams back in 2021, and now the only question is whether they're regretting their decision now. You see, Adams had been on an all-time low in his performance back when he'd been playing for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Prior to his newest stint at the Grizzlies, Adams never even had his rebound points in the double digits. Although dependable when it comes to injuries, Adams has always been middling the stats board. Never too low in the ranks, but never high enough to be noticed either. That was until the Memphis Grizzlies traded him in 2021. The starting center helped the team to their 5th consecutive win that season by grabbing 17 points against Miami Heat, and his streak continued well into 2022. Last year, we saw Adams snatch up a season high of 20 rebounds in a winning game against the Chicago Bulls. The star was on fire. Well, I guess the Grizzlies thought this streak was evidence enough to sign him on for longer. In October 2022, Steven Adams signed a whopping $25.2 million contract extension with the Memphis Grizzlies. But do the Grizzlies regret that contract? Just a few months into the extension, Adams went down with a disastrous PCL injury and is out for the count. This comes at an especially tumultuous time for the team. With Steven Adams already out, fan favorite Brandon Clarke was perhaps under way too much pressure. The pressure resulted in a shocking leg injury on March 3rd, 2023, in a losing match with the Denver Nuggets. The Achilles injury has Clarke benched for the rest of the season. That's another Grizzlies player down for the count. around. Yikes. And if that wasn't damning enough, the Grizzlies suffered some bad PR and another player loss. One of the Grizzlies' best players, Ja Morant, needs to lie low for a bit when a video of him surfaced a couple of weeks ago. The All-Star guard could be seen waving what looked like a gun around in a crowded Colorado club the day after Clark's injury. The player was benched for the next 4 games at least, and has now entered a counseling program. With 3 of their star players incapacitated, I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of a Grizzlies fan this season. The effects of these losses are already showing up in the team's stats. The Memphis Grizzlies had already gone 7-11 with Steven Adams at the sidelines, but now they find themselves slipping further. Morant and Clark's absence just added fuel to the fire Adams' injury had already caused. And now the Grizzlies have been kicked out of their number 2 spot in the Western Conference. This season won't look up for them even if they get Morant back. Not without Steven Adams, that's for sure. With Steven probably sitting out the whole NBA season, rumors about his career are flying around. Fans are calling this injury the fatal blow to his position in the NBA, especially after he was snubbed by the All-Stars. The New Zealand-born player was having a heck of a season back in 2019 with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He was averaging his career's best stats with 15.4 points and 10.0 rebounds, and ranked 3rd in the Western Conference. So you would think these stats would make him worthy of the much sought-after All-Star nod, but that wasn't the case for our big man Adams. He wasn't drafted for the almighty team, a move that Steve-O fans call an obvious snub. Instead, Adams had to watch his fellow Thunder teammate Russell Westbrook get drafted into the reserves along with Anthony Davis. Out of the 7 players to get the All-Stars nod, all Adams got was the cold shoulder. And the sad truth of it is that Adams just doesn't have the stats for it. Yeah, he's every coach's dream with his unshakable work ethic and defensive adaptability. And sure, he's got the unselfishness that makes him an irreplaceable teammate, but he just doesn't have the impressive numbers that a player needs to be an all-star player. Fans, of course, would disagree, speaking out about the public rebuffing on part of the NBA. But that's all they can do right now. It really was a heartbreaking blow to the Kiwis' career, and it was tough to jump back into the game, from missing 18 consecutive games to needing stem cell injections. Big man Steven Adams is really feeling the effects of his PCL injury. Is this the point where Steven Adams' career dips out into obscurity? I can't say for sure, but that's all I know about the Grizzlies starting center Steven Adams' knee injury and its effects.